What are the 7 elements of design?
The 7 elements are line, shape, form, texture, space, color, and value. These are the fundamental building blocks used in every visual composition, from paintings to web layouts.
What is the element of line in design?
A line is a mark connecting 2 points. Lines can be straight, curved, thick, thin, dashed, or implied. They guide the eye, create shapes, define boundaries, convey movement, and establish mood. Horizontal equals calm, diagonal equals dynamic.
What is the element of shape in design?
A shape is a two-dimensional enclosed area defined by line, color, value, or texture. Shapes are classified as geometric, circles, squares, triangles, or organic, free-form, natural. They form the foundation of logos, icons, and layouts.
What is the element of form in design?
Form is a three-dimensional shape with volume and depth, height, width, and depth. In 2D design, form is implied through shading, perspective, and overlapping. A circle becomes a sphere, a square becomes a cube.
What is the element of texture in design?
Texture refers to the surface quality of an element, how it looks or feels. In graphic design, texture is visual, implied, rather than tactile, adding depth, interest, and richness to flat compositions through patterns, grain, or photographic overlays.
What is the element of space in design?
Space is the area around, between, or within elements. Positive space is occupied by objects, negative space, white space, is empty. Effective use of space creates visual hierarchy, breathing room, and focus.
What is the element of value in design?
Value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color or tone. It creates contrast, depth, and emphasis. A design with a wide range of values, high contrast, is more dynamic, while limited value range creates subtlety and cohesion.
What is balance in design?
Balance is the distribution of visual weight in a composition. Symmetrical balance creates formal equilibrium. Asymmetrical balance uses different elements to achieve equilibrium. Radial balance radiates from a center point.
What is the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical balance?
Symmetrical balance mirrors elements equally on either side of a central axis, creating formality and stability. Asymmetrical balance arranges unlike elements of different visual weight to create dynamic equilibrium, feeling more organic and engaging.
What is contrast in design?
Contrast is the difference between elements that makes them distinguishable, light versus dark, large versus small, thick versus thin, rough versus smooth. It creates visual interest, establishes hierarchy, and draws attention to key elements.
What is emphasis in design?
Emphasis is the principle of making one element stand out as the focal point of a composition. It is achieved through contrast, size, color, placement, or isolation, guiding the viewer's eye to the most important information.
What is movement in design?
Movement is the path the viewer's eye follows through a composition. Designers control movement using lines, shapes, color, repetition, and visual flow to guide the audience through content in a deliberate sequence.
What is pattern in design?
Pattern is the repetition of an element, shape, line, color, in a regular arrangement. Patterns create visual rhythm, texture, and consistency. They are used in backgrounds, textiles, branding, and decorative design.
What is rhythm in design?
Rhythm is created by the repeated use of elements to produce a sense of organized movement. Types include regular rhythm, uniform repetition, alternating rhythm, flowing rhythm, and progressive rhythm, gradual change in size or color.
What is unity, harmony, in design?
Unity is the sense that all elements in a composition belong together and work as a cohesive whole. It is achieved through consistent use of color, typography, alignment, spacing, and style throughout a design.
What is proportion in design?
Proportion refers to the relative size and scale of elements within a design. Proper proportion creates visual harmony, while intentionally exaggerated proportions can create emphasis, drama, or hierarchy.
What is hierarchy in design?
Visual hierarchy is the arrangement of elements to show their order of importance. It guides the viewer through content by using size, color, contrast, placement, and typography to indicate what to read or look at first.
What is a focal point in composition?
A focal point is the area in a design that immediately attracts the viewer's attention. It is created through emphasis techniques like high contrast, vivid color, large scale, or strategic placement, serving as the entry point for the eye.
What is the rule of thirds?
The rule of thirds divides a composition into a 3x3 grid. Placing key elements along the grid lines or at their intersections creates more dynamic, visually interesting compositions than centering everything. It is widely used in photography and layout design.
What is the golden ratio in design?
The golden ratio, approximately 1 minute and 1.618 seconds, is a mathematical proportion found in nature and used in design for aesthetically pleasing compositions. It appears in spirals, rectangles, and layouts, guiding the placement of elements for natural visual harmony.
What is a grid system in design?
A grid system is a framework of horizontal and vertical lines used to organize content on a page or screen. Grids create consistency, alignment, and structure. Common types include column grids, modular grids, and baseline grids.
What is the difference between a column grid and a modular grid?
A column grid divides a page into vertical columns with gutters between them, primarily organizing horizontal flow. A modular grid adds horizontal rows to create a matrix of modules, providing more precise control over both horizontal and vertical element placement.
What is alignment in design?
Alignment is the placement of elements so their edges or centers line up along a common axis. Proper alignment creates order, organization, and visual connection between elements. Types include left, right, center, and justified alignment.
What is proximity in design?
Proximity is the principle that related elements should be placed close together and unrelated elements farther apart. Grouping by proximity helps viewers understand relationships and organization without explicit labels or dividers.
What is repetition in design?
Repetition strengthens a design by creating consistency and cohesion through the recurring use of colors, fonts, shapes, or other visual elements. It reinforces brand identity and makes designs feel intentional and unified.
What is white space, negative space?
White space, negative space, is the empty area between and around elements in a design. It is not wasted space, it improves readability, creates visual hierarchy, gives elements room to breathe, and adds a sense of elegance and sophistication.
What is typography?
Typography is the art and technique of arranging type to make written language legible, readable, and visually appealing. It encompasses font selection, sizing, spacing, alignment, and hierarchy, and is one of the most powerful tools in graphic design.
What is the difference between a typeface and a font?
A typeface is the design of a set of characters, e.g., Helvetica, while a font is a specific style and size within that typeface, e.g., Helvetica Bold 12 points. In modern usage, the terms are often used interchangeably.
What is a serif typeface?
A serif typeface has small decorative strokes, serifs, at the ends of letter strokes. Examples include Times New Roman, Georgia, and Garamond. Serifs are considered traditional and are often used in body text for print, as they aid readability.
What is a sans serif typeface?
A sans serif typeface lacks the decorative strokes found in serif fonts. Examples include Helvetica, Arial, and Futura. Sans serifs appear clean and modern, and are widely preferred for digital interfaces and screen readability.
What is a display typeface?
A display typeface is designed for use at large sizes in headlines, titles, and posters rather than body text. They are often decorative, expressive, or stylized and sacrifice readability at small sizes for visual impact at large sizes.
What is a monospaced font?
A monospaced font gives every character the same width, e.g., Courier, Consolas. They are commonly used in code editors and terminals because characters align vertically, making code structure easier to read.
What is kerning?
Kerning is the adjustment of space between two specific characters to create visually even spacing. For example, AV often needs tighter kerning because the natural spacing looks too wide. Poor kerning, kemming, is a common design flaw.
What is tracking, letter spacing?
Tracking is the uniform adjustment of space across an entire block of text or word. Unlike kerning, between two characters, tracking affects all characters equally. Increased tracking is often used in uppercase headings for an airy, elegant look.
What is leading, line spacing?
Leading, pronounced leading, is the vertical space between lines of text, measured baseline to baseline. Standard body text uses 120 to 145% of font size, e.g., 12 points type with 15 points leading. Proper leading improves readability and prevents text from feeling cramped.
What is a font family?
A font family is a group of related typefaces that share a common design but vary in weight, light, regular, bold, width, condensed, extended, and style, Roman, italic. Examples: Roboto, Open Sans, and Montserrat are popular font families.
What is font weight?
Font weight describes the thickness of a typeface's strokes. Common weights include thin, 100, light, 300, regular, 400, medium, 500, semi-bold, 600, bold, 700, and black, 900. Varying weight creates typographic hierarchy.
What is a baseline in typography?
The baseline is the invisible line upon which text characters sit. Descenders, like G, P, Y, extend below the baseline, while ascenders, like B, D, H, rise above the X height. Aligning text to a baseline grid ensures consistent vertical rhythm.
What is X height in typography?
X height is the height of lowercase letters without ascenders or descenders, measured by the letter X. Typefaces with larger X heights, like Verdana, appear more legible at small sizes than those with smaller X heights.
What is a typographic scale?
A typographic scale is a set of harmonious font sizes used to create consistent hierarchy. Common scales include the classical scale 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72 points, and modular scales based on ratios like 1.25 or 1.618.
How many typefaces should typically be used in a design?
Most design guidelines recommend using no more than 2 to 3 typefaces in a single project. Typically, one is used for headings and another for body text. Using too many fonts creates visual chaos and undermines unity.
What is the difference between readability and legibility?
Legibility is how easily individual characters can be distinguished from one another, a property of the typeface. Readability is how easily text can be read as a whole, influenced by font size, leading, tracking, line length, and contrast.
What is the ideal line length for body text?
The ideal line length for body text is approximately 45 to 75 characters per line, including spaces, with 66 characters considered optimal. Lines that are too long or too short cause reader fatigue and reduce comprehension.
What is a widow and orphan in typography?
A widow is a short line, often a single word, at the end of a paragraph that appears alone at the top of a new column or page. An orphan is the first line of a paragraph stranded at the bottom. Both are considered typographic flaws.
What is a ligature in typography?
A ligature is a single glyph formed by combining two or more characters, such as phi or FL. Ligatures improve visual flow and prevent awkward character collisions. They are commonly found in serif typefaces and OpenType fonts.
What is a logo?
A logo is a graphic mark or symbol used to identify a company, product, or brand. It is the most visible element of brand identity and should be memorable, scalable, versatile, and appropriate for the brand's audience and values.
What are the main types of logos?
The main logo types are wordmark, text only, e.g., Google, lettermark, initials, e.g., IBM, brandmark, symbol only, e.g., Apple, combination mark, text plus symbol, e.g., Adidas, and emblem, text inside a symbol, e.g., Starbucks.
What is brand identity?
Brand identity is the collection of visual elements, logo, color palette, typography, imagery, and design patterns that represent a brand and distinguish it from competitors. It conveys the brand's personality, values, and promise consistently across all touchpoints.
What is a brand style guide?
A brand style guide, brand book, is a document that defines how a brand's visual and verbal identity should be used. It specifies logo usage rules, color codes, typography, imagery style, tone of voice, and spacing guidelines to ensure consistency.
What is the difference between a brand and a brand identity?
A brand is the overall perception and emotional connection people have with a company. Brand identity is the tangible visual system, logo, colors, fonts, etc., designed to shape that perception. The brand lives in people's minds, brand identity lives in design.
What is a PNG file?
PNG, Portable Network Graphics, is a raster image format supporting lossless compression and transparency, alpha channel. It is ideal for web graphics, logos on backgrounds, and images requiring sharp edges. Files are larger than JPEG but preserve quality perfectly.
What is a JPEG file?
JPEG, Joint Photographic Experts Group, is a raster image format using lossy compression, which reduces file size by discarding some image data. It is best for photographs and complex images on the web. Quality degrades with each resave.
What is an SVG file?
SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics, is a vector image format based on XML that scales to any size without losing quality. It is ideal for logos, icons, and illustrations on the web. SVGs can be styled with CSS and animated with JavaScript.
What is a PDF file?
PDF, Portable Document Format, preserves the exact layout, fonts, and graphics of a document across all devices and platforms. It supports both vector and raster content and is the standard format for print-ready files and professional document sharing.
What is the difference between raster and vector graphics?
Raster graphics, JPEG, PNG, GIF, are made of pixels and lose quality when scaled up. Vector graphics, SVG, AI, EPS, are made of mathematical paths and scale infinitely without quality loss. Vectors are preferred for logos and icons, rasters for photographs.
What is a GIF file?
GIF, Graphics Interchange Format, is a raster format supporting up to 256 colors, transparency, and animation. It uses lossless compression, but its limited color palette makes it unsuitable for photographs. It is widely used for simple animations and memes.
What is a TIFF file?
TIFF, Tagged Image File Format, is a high-quality raster format that supports lossless compression and multiple color spaces. It produces large files and is preferred in professional photography, print production, and archival storage.
What is an EPS file?
EPS, Encapsulated PostScript, is a vector file format commonly used in professional print design. It supports both vector and raster data and can be opened by most design software. It has largely been superseded by PDF and AI formats.
What is resolution in digital images?
Resolution refers to the amount of detail in an image, typically measured in pixels per inch, ppi, for screens or dots per inch, dpi, for print. Higher resolution means more detail and sharpness.
What is DPI and when is it used?
DPI, dots per inch, measures print resolution, the number of ink dots a printer places per inch. Standard print resolution is 300 dpi for high-quality output. Newspapers typically use 150 dpi, and billboards may use as low as 30 to 50 dpi.
What is PPI and how does it differ from DPI?
PPI, pixels per inch, measures screen/digital resolution, the number of pixels displayed per inch on a screen. While DPI refers to printed output, PPI refers to digital display. Standard web resolution is 72 ppi, while Retina displays use 144 plus ppi.
What resolution should be used for print design?
Print design typically requires 300 ppi/dpi at the final output size to ensure crisp, detailed reproduction. Images below 300 dpi may appear pixelated or blurry when printed. Large format prints, billboards, can use lower resolution due to viewing distance.
What resolution is standard for web design?
Web images are typically displayed at 72 ppi, though modern high-density Retina displays may use 2x or 3x assets. The key metric for web is pixel dimensions rather than ppi, since screens display a fixed number of pixels regardless of ppi setting.
What is Adobe Photoshop used for?
Adobe Photoshop is the industry standard raster image editor used for photo editing, retouching, compositing, and digital painting. It excels at pixel-based manipulation, color correction, and creating photorealistic imagery.
What is Adobe Illustrator used for?
Adobe Illustrator is the industry standard vector graphics editor used for creating logos, icons, illustrations, typography, and scalable artwork. It works with paths and anchor points rather than pixels, making output resolution independent.
What is Adobe InDesign used for?
Adobe InDesign is a professional layout and typesetting application used for designing multi-page documents like magazines, books, brochures, and reports. It excels at combining text and images with precise typographic control.
What is Figma?
Figma is a browser-based collaborative design tool used for UI/UX design, prototyping, and design systems. Its real-time collaboration features, component system, and auto layout make it the leading tool for modern digital product design.
What is Sketch?
Sketch is a macOS vector design tool popular for UI/UX design. It pioneered the symbols and components workflow for reusable design elements and remains widely used for interface design, though Figma has gained significant market share.
What is Canva?
Canva is a web-based graphic design platform aimed at non-designers and small businesses. It provides templates, drag-and-drop tools, and a large asset library for creating social media posts, presentations, flyers, and basic marketing materials.
What is a mockup in design?
A mockup is a realistic, high-fidelity representation of how a design will look in its final form. Mockups show designs applied to products, packaging, devices, or environments, helping clients and stakeholders visualize the end result.
What is a wireframe?
A wireframe is a low-fidelity, simplified layout that outlines the structure and placement of elements on a page or screen. It focuses on content hierarchy and functionality without colors, typography details, or images.
What is a prototype in design?
A prototype is an interactive simulation of a design that allows users to click through screens and experience the flow. Prototypes test usability and user experience before development begins, using tools like Figma, InVision, or Adobe XD.
What is the difference between UI and UX design?
UI, user interface, design focuses on the visual appearance and interactive elements of a product, buttons, icons, layouts. UX, user experience, design focuses on the overall feel and usability of the product, encompassing research, information architecture, and user flows.
What is responsive design?
Responsive design is an approach to web design where layouts adapt fluidly to different screen sizes and devices. Using flexible grids, fluid images, and CSS media queries, a single design works on desktops, tablets, and smartphones.
What is a design system?
A design system is a comprehensive collection of reusable components, guidelines, patterns, and standards that ensure consistency across a product or brand. Examples include Google's Material Design, Apple's Human Interface Guidelines, and IBM's Carbon Design System.
What is the difference between CMYK and RGB color modes in design software?
RGB mode is used for digital/screen design, websites, apps, social media, and has a wider gamut. CMYK mode is used for print design, brochures, business cards, and is more limited. Always design in the color mode matching your output medium.
What is bleed in print design?
Bleed is the area of a design that extends beyond the trim edge, typically 3 mm (0.125 inches) on each side. It ensures that when the paper is cut, there are no unprinted white edges if the cut is slightly off register.
What is a trim mark, crop mark?
Trim marks, crop marks, are small lines printed at the corners of a document indicating where the paper should be cut. They guide the printer in trimming the final piece to its intended size.
What is the difference between spot UV and embossing?
Spot UV is a glossy, raised coating applied to specific areas of a printed piece for visual contrast and texture. Embossing physically raises a design element from the surface by pressing paper between dies, creating a three-dimensional tactile effect.
What is a style tile in web design?
A style tile is a design deliverable that communicates the visual direction of a website without a full mock-up. It shows fonts, colors, interface elements, and textures in a single reference, bridging the gap between moodboards and full comps.
What is the Z-pattern layout?
The Z-pattern describes the natural reading path of Western viewers scanning a page, top left, top right, diagonally down to bottom left, bottom right. It is effective for designs with minimal text, like landing pages and advertisements.
What is the F-pattern layout?
The F-pattern describes how users typically scan content-heavy pages, reading horizontally across the top, then dropping down and scanning a shorter horizontal line, then vertically down the left side. It is common in web pages and search results.
What is the Gestalt principle of closure?
The Gestalt principle of closure states that the brain perceives incomplete shapes as complete by filling in missing information. Logos like the WWF Panda and IBM's striped letters exploit closure. Viewers see the whole form despite gaps.
What is the Gestalt principle of similarity?
The Gestalt principle of similarity states that elements sharing visual characteristics, color, shape, size, texture, are perceived as related or grouped. Designers use this to create visual categories and organize information without explicit containers.
What is the Gestalt principle of proximity?
The Gestalt principle of proximity states that elements placed close together are perceived as belonging to the same group. This is fundamental to layout design. Spacing alone can communicate relationships and hierarchy without borders or labels.
What is a call to action, CTA, in design?
A call to action, CTA, is a design element, usually a button or link, that prompts the user to take a specific action, such as buy now, sign up, or learn more. Effective CTAs use contrast, clear copy, and prominent placement.
What is the difference between print and digital design?
Print design uses CMYK color, 300 dpi resolution, physical dimensions, inches/mm, and fixed layouts. Digital design uses RGB color, 72 plus ppi, pixel dimensions, and responsive/flexible layouts. Print is permanent once produced, digital can be updated continuously.
What is image compression?
Image compression reduces file size for faster loading and efficient storage. Lossless compression, PNG, TIFF, preserves all data perfectly. Lossy compression, JPEG, discards some data to achieve smaller files, with adjustable quality levels.
What is anti-aliasing?
Anti-aliasing smooths the jagged edges, aliasing, of raster images and text by blending edge pixels with surrounding colors. It creates the illusion of smooth curves and diagonals on pixel-based displays, improving visual quality.
What is a vector path?
A vector path is a line or shape defined by mathematical points, anchor points, connected by curves and straight segments. Paths are resolution independent, can be scaled infinitely, and are the foundation of all vector graphics.
What are anchor points and handles in vector design?
Anchor points are nodes that define the shape of a vector path. Handles, direction lines, extend from anchor points to control the curvature of path segments. Moving handles adjusts how curves flow between points.
What is a clipping mask?
A clipping mask uses one shape to define the visible area of another layer or image. Content outside the mask shape is hidden but not deleted. It is commonly used to crop images into custom shapes like circles, text, or logos.
What is the golden spiral in design?
The golden spiral is a logarithmic spiral that grows outward by a factor of the golden ratio, 1.618, with each quarter turn. It is derived from the golden rectangle and is used as a compositional guide for placing elements in naturally harmonious arrangements.
What is a color overlay in design?
A color overlay is a semi-transparent layer of color placed over an image or background. It is used to unify photos with a brand palette, improve text readability over images, or create a specific mood. Popular in web hero sections and social media graphics.
What does above the fold mean in web design?
Above the fold refers to the portion of a web page visible without scrolling. Derived from newspaper terminology, it is the prime area for key content, headlines, and CTAs. While scrolling is now common, initial viewport content still gets the most attention.
What is optical alignment in design?
Optical alignment is the practice of adjusting element positions so they appear aligned, even if they are not mathematically aligned. Round shapes and pointed letters, like O and A, often need to extend slightly beyond boundaries to look visually even.
What is the purpose of a thumbnail sketch in design?
Thumbnail sketches are small, quick, rough drawings used to explore multiple layout ideas rapidly before committing to a direction. They allow designers to brainstorm compositions, test visual hierarchy, and compare options efficiently.
What is a mood board in design?
A mood board is a collage of images, colors, textures, and typography samples assembled to define the visual direction of a project. It helps communicate the intended look and feel to clients and team members before detailed design begins.
What is a design brief?
A design brief is a document outlining the objectives, target audience, deliverables, timeline, and constraints of a design project. It serves as a roadmap that aligns the designer and client on expectations before work begins.
What is the principle of Occam's razor applied to design?
Occam's razor in design suggests that the simplest solution is usually the best. Unnecessary elements, decorations, and complexity should be eliminated. A clean, focused design communicates more effectively than a cluttered one.